we're back. I still haven't confronted the person about betraying me like that, but they'll never know. Because I'll only rant about it here, and they don't watch this series on my channel. They only watch Pokemon hacks. That I know of, anyways. So, yeah. Although, oh shit. I need to, at the end of this episode, set things up to actually go up today. Because they're uploaded, but they're not actually set up to publish. So, at the end of this episode, I'm gonna have to do that. But I got time. Anyways. Was there a dirty rag in your bag that looked similar to this?
Fa! I'm not going to give any information to someone who calls it a dirty rag.
Then would it be better if I called it a washcloth?
Fa! Wrong again! It's a fluorescent cloth! Ah, oopsie! That was supposed to be a secret! I'm very bad at that.
Please tell me all you know about this fluorescent cloth. Oh, shit. Well, conversationally speaking, that was the next logical step. Please tell me the reason why you hid this cloth.
Oh, I guess I have no choice since the cat's out of the bag. Well, I found this cloth floating in the fountain.
Yeah, the fucking...
Right after that, I was called to the Autumn Palace.
So that's the moment Larry captured in his so-called sketch of beauties.
At first I thought one of the fluorescent cloths I'd given Katie had washed away.
But didn't you give only 4 fluorescent cloths as a present to the museum?
There were 4 fluorescent cloths covering the sculptures in the Autumn Palace, right? So that's when I realised that this was the cloth that went missing 18 years ago. The poison gas broke out because someone had stolen my Megatoxin X. So I thought the fluorescent cloth had also been used for the crime. I was afraid I'd be suspected, so I didn't say anything about it to anyone.
I see.
But I sure feel a lot better after having talked about it. Stress isn't good for your figure after all.
18 years ago, the cloth that was wrapped around the body went missing. Who would have thought it would turn up in the fountain along with the body? Fair enough. God, everything's coming back in this case. Give me the Cape by Delicia. The cloth that vanished 18 years ago was found floating in the fountain. Suppose we just have to setting off poison gas. I'd like to ask you about something since you're a pharmacist. Exactly how would one gain the knowledge required to set off a poison gas? It depends. Like, I'm not a pharmacist, but I know if you mix bleach and ammonia, you get concentrated mustard gas, which is really poisonous. You're not supposed to do that. I know that's what happens. I also know this because you're not supposed to do it. They teach you how not to make the poison. Like, super don't mix these chemicals. You will die horribly. It's very bad for you. So, yeah, you don't need to be a pharmacist. There is general knowledge on how to make poison gases here that is floating about.
That's basic knowledge for any pharmacist acquainted with Megatoxin X.
Not to be confused with Cold Killer X, which was, after having done some research, Phoenix's cold medicine in the 3rd game when he was but a young pupil of Mia Fey's. On the defense stand, that bitch Dahlia Hawthorne. Also, really dark, that whole business.
It even says on the warning label, danger do not mix with normalium.
I wonder if bleach and ammonia say something similar. Then, is there another way for somebody who isn't a pharmacist to obtain that information? Yeah, it's on the fucking bottle. Well, they might not be able to get Megatoxin X.
Well... It might be possible if they've seen the Angel's recipe.
The recipe book that was the grand prize for the contest 18 years ago. Or Google.
Since it also contains the recipe to prepare Megatoxin X.
Do we really need that point of logic? Like, come on, she works here, she's the one who's had it all this time. She's clearly seen the Angel's recipe. Does that mean that you've also seen the contents of the Angel's recipe?
You see, that's a given, of course. The pharmaceutical company I work for is the Master Group.
Well, yeah, that does make sense.
It's the company that makes the Cold Killer X medicine.
Funny. That was actually poisoned at one point.
Cold Killer X, the cold medicine that promises to kill colds good.
After Jeffy got declared guilty, the company took back the recipe book. However, only a small group of elite pharmacists have been allowed to see it, though.
So this woman is also part of that small group of elite pharmacists.
Anything else worth presenting? Maybe this?
It's true, I know how to make the poison gas. But even if you know how to fire a gun, it doesn't mean you actually shot someone, right?
Fair enough.
I haven't actually decided that you're the criminal yet, though.
I may be a great thief, but that doesn't mean I would commit evil deeds.
And I may be a pastry chef,
You're not.
but that doesn't mean I can make desserts.
That... No, that doesn't work.
That's because you're a fake pastry chef.
Thank you, Edgeworth. Said it best. Teapot... maybe the rock salt lamp. Oh, and actually, we should present that too. Let's start with the rock salt lamp.
I'm surprised you can make a lamp out of rock salt.
Yes, it's weak against water, but strong against fire. It's pretty sturdy, you know. So sturdy it can be used as a murder weapon. Yeah, bit of bad taste there. I forget I said that.
Yes, that's right, isn't it?
The reason the rock salt lamp was broken was because it was used as the murder weapon. But then I wonder why the other rock salt lamp was also broken.
Maybe they killed 2 people that day.
You've also read the Angel's recipe, right?
Of course, I may look like this, but I'm an ace pharmacist.
It's always ace in this world.
That's amazing, an ace pharmacist, but that's been my long-felt dream.
Shut up, Kay.
That's right, that's right. At least Kay-Fay understands.
Listen, the first I've heard about her being interested in pharmacology, though.
Shh! A little flattery can go a long way when you're stealing or trying to get information.
Ah, I see.
Well then, Miss Delicious, there's something I would like to ask of you.
Fine, no can do. I can't just change names after I've already decided on it.
For a great thief of all people to have known thoughts, whatever.
Looks like it didn't get you very far.
Well, it was worth a shot. I respect the effort. Well then, spoken to her. Guess we also need to speak to Ray and that bitch down there. Katie, I think. Miles, how's the investigation going?
Well, little by little, I'm beginning to see the entire truth behind this case.
Oh, that's good to hear. Uncle Ray had better not fall behind either. That jamming music.
This case seems to have a lot in common with the case 18 years ago.
I agree. They melted ice in the winter palace in the body of the victim from 18 years ago. Pretty fucking suspicious, if you ask me. Like, get some federal investigators in on this shit.
I wonder why nobody ever noticed the body was missing after all this time.
Because Von Karma forged evidence. The only family Mr. Dover had was a young son. His son and Mr. Gustavia's son, who attended the same elementary school. After the case, they both went missing.
What? Really? And they haven't been found yet?
I haven't heard any news about Mr. Gustavia's son being found. As for Mr. Dover's son, he was found and his inheritance was delivered to him. And because of that, Mr. Dover never had a proper funeral. What? Really? That way they were able to make it look like the body had been in police custody. The autopsy report had also been forged, so nobody but the defense ever found out.
Von Karma, you would go that far.
Of course he would, he's Von Karma. So, both his sons went missing. That kind of makes sense if all he had was a young son, and then his son went missing. But he was eventually tracked down and got his inheritance. But since it seemed like body was in police custody, autopsy, etc., couldn't have a funeral, whatever. What the hell's up with Dane Gustavia's son? Where'd he go? That guy wasn't killed yet. He's just chilling out. His son went missing? Where'd he go? And who is he now? 18 years. Couldn't be Knightley. I'm trying to think of all the people we've met. Couldn't be one of the guys we've met in prison. Certainly not the blind assassin. Probably not Shelley the Killer. That guy's a bit old. It's been Gumshoe the whole time now. I got nothing. I'm sure that'll come up later, but right now I have nothing. I have no idea who his son could be. Can't be Sebastian there. He's only 17. Too young.
Mr. Shields, could you tell me what kind of person Miss Hall is?
Miles, don't tell me. You're also interested in Katie.
No.
Well, all joking aside, all Uncle Ray can say is that the Katie I know is a truly admirable woman. For 18 years, she's always wanted to remain here and wait for the Master's return. However, she was all driven out of the mansion by Master's relatives.
What? She was driven out of the mansion?
That's because Kate isn't related by blood to Mr. Master. With no family and her job taken from her, she could only live on with the song and dance Mr. Master had taught her.
Yeah, weren't they part of a TV show?
Well, now she's retired as a world-famous actress, though.
Why did she retire?
Because she already saved up enough money to buy this mansion. It seems she even got back the Angel's recipe that had been taken by the Master's group.
This is all very suspicious.
This mansion where she lived with Mr. Master had been everything to her. She probably just wanted to take back everything that she lost.
It seems Mr. Shields sympathizes with Miss Hall. But you could also say that her actions have taken away everything Mr. Master had.
Well, in a sense, but he is in jail. It's not like she's, you know, taunting him with it or anything. Anything worth presenting to you? How about this badge?
I never would have imagined that you would end up becoming a prosecutor.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not blaming you. You have your own reasons behind it as well, right? But standing in the courtroom as a prosecutor isn't the same as doing it as a defense attorney.
Obviously not. Although, certainly there are similarities that can be drawn upon.
It is something I would like to experience just once as a defense attorney.
Miles has been on the other side, though. That was a fun time.
There was actually a time when I stood in the courtroom as a defense attorney.
Good times.
It definitely didn't feel bad at all.
Well, I mean, you were doing it out of a favor for Miles, and you were going against Francesca, so... and the other judge who was Canadian. Such a good time. Good times all around. See, that's the problem with me playing the other Phoenix Wright games. I know those. I don't know what evidence is to present at the right time, but I know how all the cases end. Or at least most of them. I couldn't rattle them off here, but I assume once the case started, I would remember how it went. That's the issue there. The only one I might not... No, I remember how they all went. The one that might give me the most trouble is... the first one that came out on the 3DS, Dual Destinies, I believe, and the first Miles Edgeworth game, which are probably the ones I haven't played in the longest time. Spirit of Justice I've played most recently, not counting this. And before that, I played whatever the third one is. I think that one's Justice for All. Ooh, the Apollo Justice game. I hate that one, but that's the one I'm probably the least familiar with out of all the games. Because I started that one, but I don't even remember if I finished it. That game bored the hell out of me. Just didn't have the same charm, you know? Anyways, what do you think about this recipe?
It's called the Angel's Recipe because it contains the recipes for many miraculous medicines.
Is there any medicine in particular that you're interested in?
Uncle Ray? Not really. How about Kay?
I'd love medicine that made me a genius, or turned invisible, or gave me the ability to fly.
Aren't you expecting a little too much from medicine?
Okay. She should be in the other games. Kay is great. It's a shame she's not kicking about. He doesn't even reference her. Alright, he's not in Dual Destinies, Miles, I mean. But, you know, Spirit of Justice, he didn't even mention her once. And it's like, come on, she's awesome. And these games are canon. Oh, I already spoke to you. Ah, wait, I can present shit. Oh, and also I have this logic bubble that really needs to be connected. This proves that she could have, in fact, made the poison gas.
The method used to set off the poison gas is explained in the Angel's recipe.
I was suddenly struck with the fact that there is poison in this recipe book that is supposedly for pharmaceutical purposes. And this, like, I accept that certain things in a higher dosage are poison, but in lower doses are not. There's no real reason for there to be a recipe for a straight-up poison, however. Whatever, you get what I mean. It's just... And also, she clearly could have found this out in some other way. Like, it's literally the mixing of two chemicals. It's gotta be common knowledge, right? And supposedly, the internet exists at this point in time. She could have just looked it up, whatever. There's no way to prove she looked it up, I guess, is the point. Even if we argue that she could have made it. Like,
You could have found out about it on the internet.
it's, no real case there. It's like, you could have, but there's no... Whatever. Rambling at this point.
And the current owner of the Angel's recipe is Miss Hall.
Ah! So that means...
Indeed, it means that it is possible she knew how to set off the poison gas.
Kay is much smarter than Maya, you know? Kay and Maya would get along like a house on fire, don't get me wrong. But some of Maya's conclusions are just the stupidest things in the world. Whereas Kay is actually able to piece together and keep up with Edgeworth. Maya has her moments, though, don't get me wrong.
With this, we can expose her lies for what they are. Sorry, did you ever hear that?
But do I just talk to her about it again? Oh, wait. I must... Okay.
What kind of method for medicine preparation are described in the Angel's recipe?
It contained many ways of preparation, so I can't explain them all in such a short time. Although if you really want to know, I can tell you. It will take about 2 hours, though. I can tell you every one of them while mashing the melody. Let's start my explanation. What should we do? Listen to all of it?
No, that won't be necessary.
Well, I mean, do I just ask her about this again? How exactly? 18 years ago, using photos, replicas, Zodiac. Did you tell me about the Arm Palace? Well, my apologies. And the decorations, obviously lying. Fluorescent thing?
That's a special fluorescent cloth I received from Madame Delicia.
Would you tell me how many cloths she gave you?
There were 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Autumn Palace also had 4 fluorescent cloths, but I feel like I saw one more. Seems she is hiding something.
Yeah, but we know that she... What do you think about that? Well, yeah, what do you think about this?
Is this me?
Yes, it's a sketch done by our pseudo-artist over there.
This sketch is really well done. Are you giving it to me as a commemoration gift?
No, for the time being, this is a valuable piece of evidence.
I see. Too bad.
To garner such a response from a museum curator, that man has some unexpected talent.
Yeah, it's actually well done. I guess we can try talking to, well, maybe this guy? He seems to be updating them. We've recovered the victim's body. Forensics are currently performing the autopsy.
And what of the investigation of the fountain?
The fountain is completely clear. You could cleanse both your heart and soul with it. If you say so.
The body was floating in this fountain just a moment ago, though.
Well, I confess I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Do I talk to him about this now that I've made the logic pieces, or... No? Liquid analysis, no. Maybe I have to... I guess I'll try talking to Sebastian and Larry, I guess. And Justine, because she's here. Start with Larry. No? Fuck that theme song.
I feel that your conduct thus far has clearly been out of line. I will make sure to bring this matter up to the PIC.
Do whatever you want.
But in return, we're going to be doing whatever we want as well. If I remember correctly, you're the little Miss Great Thief. I will have to report your misconduct to the PIC as well, young lady. Sure, since it will only serve to increase my fame as the Great Thief.
It seems even Judge Courtney is unable to get a handle on Kay.
That's good, Kay. Sebastian.
Mr. DeBest, you're getting a bit in my way if you stand here.
Woohoo! I'm not going to move. Just do whatever you can over there.
Don't say that. It's probably the best if you just stand over there.
The best, you say? Okay, I'll go stand over there.
And so anything is fine with you as long as you add the best to it.
I like that, actually. Yeah, what the hell do we do? Can we go to the Winter and Autumn Palace? Because those are lit up, at least. There's a maple tree in front of this door. The door leads to the Winter Palace. The trees are autumn trees. It's supposed to have been placed here as a red herring. How about we freeze it and make it look like a maple tree in winter? Please don't complicate matters any further. God damn it, Kay. Nope. Can I leave? No? I don't know what I do. I must have to present them with something. What have I got? I presented the Angel's Recipe to her, and I've made the logic connection. I have to present the poison to her, I guess, maybe? Or the liquid analysis results, maybe? Yeah, we'll try that, I guess. Maybe I have to talk to Kay? I don't know. Check out this poison gas. I don't know a whole lot about the case. Ding. I'm not singing.
Why is Kay singing with it?
Alright, how about the liquid analysis results? No. Can I present it to Shields, maybe? Show it's the same from 18 years ago?
Ah, this, eh? This evidence holds the so-called key to the case, right?
It's possible.
Yep. Then hold on to it closely. Hurry, put it away.
He doesn't think much about this.
Yeah, that didn't help. I might check a walkthrough because I genuinely have no idea what the game wants from me at this point. I think I've done enough. I've proved through logic that she could have easily made the fucking poison. Do I have to talk to Delicia about something? Maybe I examine the T card again? No? I'll examine the T card again, I guess. Well, he didn't say anything regarding it, and I can deduce. This spot's somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. Yeah, what about my teapot?
Eureka!
Well, it doesn't. See, he didn't say I've already examined this. However, why do I feel like something is amiss? I should look over my evidence again. Alright, something's up with the T card, it seems like. So, we'll figure that out in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tokenlad. Talk to you later. Shooting your shows here and Ask Lines.